Track, tell everybody what we're making today. Huh? Tell them we're making brasciole. Come on. Isn't that how you howl? We're making brasciole today, guys. It's a family favorite of my kids and mine. I just love it. It's so easy. So I figured I would bring all the all the ingredients over here and get it going. I actually made a whole bunch of them at home ahead of time because I wanted to make sure I showed you. I know last week I didn't get a chance to finish the coffee cake to show you guys, but I can't believe the response I got. So many people are making this coffee cake. It's like unbelievable. I'm really, really proud of it, and I'm so happy everybody's been enjoying it. I mean, I think Abby made it, one of my servers made it, I made it, 2 friends made it, my family made it. Everybody's having coffee cake. Wonderful. Okay, so here we go. Brasciole. Brasciole is a traditional, of course, Italian dish, and it's made from a flank steak. Now, if you were to get a flank steak at the store, the first thing you'd want to do is butterfly it. And when you butterfly a steak, you just basically go through it and you cut it in half and you would lay it open. It would look like a butterfly. But I actually was able to get these in the store, and I know you can find them. They have them just about everywhere, that they're already cut. I mean, look how thin these are. So this, at one point, was a steak that was butterflied and pounded super thin like this. So I saved myself the time and I bought them this way. Okay, so if you did have a steak, butterfly it, put some plastic wrap over it, and pound it like crazy to make it nice and thin. And there's also 2 ways you can do this. Since I already got these cut and pounded, I'm going to have to make individual rolls. Whereas the steak, when you do it nice and thin, you could make it one big roll and then cook it and then cut it after. So either way is fine, whichever's easier. This is the way we're doing it today. So brasciole is, like I said, it's a steak and it's going to be stuffed inside. And it's got really good stuff. It's really simple, probably stuff you have in your pantry. So the next time you have a steak and you don't know what to do with it, try this. Okay. So we're going to make a quick little filling to go inside, because if you're rolling it, we want something inside of it. Okay, so it's going to start off. I have the recipe already posted on the Let's Cook This page, because I wanted you guys to be able to follow along, or if you later on, if you're not watching this and you want the recipe, it's there already. Okay, so I just measured out 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and this is the one I always use. This is the one my Nana always used, so I'm just a creature of habit. And I got the seasoned ones this time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I got the seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. And to this now, we're going to add we have pecorino romano, and then we have Parmesan cheese. So I like to shred mine for this because I like to make sure that they're fresh and they melt. Sometimes when you buy the ones that are already shredded, they're not 100% and they're a little bit, they have like a lot of additives in them, so sometimes they're a little bit plasticky and they don't really melt good. So we're just going to, this is a microplane. I actually found it. I dug through my boxes of stuff because my kitchen is still under renovation, so I have all these boxes that I keep going through and finding all my good stuff. So look how fast this shreds. Isn't that beautiful? And we're going to do 1/2 of a cup here of the Parmesan. Now this is my recipe. Again, if you were to look it up, I'm sure you would find something different, but this is the one that works for me. This is the one that I have fed my kids their whole life. And so this is the one I'm sticking with. Okay, now we have this big block of this, the pecorino. Good, it broke, because that makes things much easier. And why I'm using 2 is because the pecorino is very sharp. It's a goat cheese milk. So it's got a lot of salt in it already, which is why we don't even have to add salt to this recipe. And the other thing we're going to add to, this is another 1/2 cup. So this is really going to add a lot of flavors. And as it's in the oven and this is heating through, all that cheese melts together and all of that goodness just comes through. Okay, so we have our cheeses done. You smell this? Mm-hmm. Isn't it strong?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, and we're going to add some cracked black pepper to it. And I like a lot. So in my recipes, I always write salt and pepper to taste, because sometimes people don't even like pepper, which I do. So I'm going to twist away here. Okay, and then we're going to take some fresh herbs here. Of course, we have basil. Basil in abundance right now because the garden is growing like, well, I don't want to say a weed because those are things we don't want in the garden, but it's growing. Smells good, doesn't it? All right, we're just going to chiffonade these a little bit, right? All right, and then we're going to try to cut these on this cutting board here. Okay, and we're going to add that in. So all these are just extra layers of flavor, and then I'm just going to mix them around. So you've got all the two cheeses, you've got the nice seasoned breadcrumbs, and now you've got the basil. So these are classic flavors here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to wipe this off. Okay, and then we're going to go 2 teaspoons around in the pan because we don't want them to stick. And I'm going to take the meat now, and now we're going to do the rolling process. So simple, it's going to blow your mind. We're going to take this piece of meat, right? We're going to put it down. I'm going to take a piece of prosciutto. Now, I like the taste of the prosciutto inside of it. Prosciutto is very buttery and very salty. So I'm just going to put one piece right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of spread this all down the little tiny roll steak here, steak roll, whatever. Now, if you had, like I said, if you had just one big steak, you could lay your prosciutto down on it, and then you could spread out all of these breadcrumbs all at once. But we're going to roll these individual, and I actually like them that way. And then, see how easy this is? Look how perfect now. And I do have skewers here. You could use butcher's twine, which is it's like a white twine that you could find in your kitchen section, and it just looks like a real thick string. You could put it on and you could tie it. You have to remember to cut them when you're going to eat. And with this, we're just going to kind of sew this shut, just like that. And then we put it in our pan. And then we're going to do the next one. Piece of prosciutto. So all these flavors are going to, let's put it on the thick end, are going to come together. And while this is cooking, these are going to go into the meat. So once we finish layering all of this like this and rolling these all out, we're going to brown them in a pan. And the reason why we like to brown them is because it sears in the juice. So you get that nice little crusty flavor on the outside, and then in the inside, it's got all these delicious cheese flavors. So this is really, really good dish. We've served it a few times at the restaurant. Okay, there's another. Now I could keep rolling these and show you. The next process, like I said, is basically we're going to brown these in the pan. After you brown them, we're going to put that there. After you brown them in the pan, they have to get nice coloring on them. We are going to add a jar of your favorite marinara, or if it's your own marinara, like we would have a meat cheese, you just put that over top of it, and then you put it in the oven and you let it bake for an hour and a half on 350. So it's almost like if you've ever made like a chuck roast or a roast beef, the more you put that beef in those sauces and let it bake in the oven, the softer it gets, and it almost like melts in your mouth, almost falls apart. So we could finish rolling these, but I want to kind of show you the finished product. And I already made one this morning in half of my kitchen. I do have an oven, like I said. So let me show you this pot, guys. Look how old this pot is. This pot has to be, oh goodness, 50 years old. It was my Nana's, and she left it to me, and I love it. It's one of my prized possessions in my kitchen. And I know you're not really supposed to cook with this kind of aluminum anymore, which I really don't, but I wanted to show you guys how wonderful Brasciole is. So we are going to take one out. Oh, nice. We got the lights on. See, guys, this is like almost braised now. It's got all these beautiful juices in here. And I did this for an hour and a half at the house. So all these are done already. So we're going to take one out, Abs, and you and I are going to try one. How's that? This is my new beautiful plate. It means eat, pray, love. How's that? Okay, one for you, one for me. And like I said, don't forget to take out the toothpicks now because you don't want anybody getting those stuck in their mouth. Okay. Easy enough? Are we ready? Yeah. We got to get a fork. I told you this was easy, guys. Very easy. Here, you need one too. All right. We ready? Okay, see how when you roll it, all inside is all done. The cheese is Girl, that was my piece.
I have one hand.
All right. How is it?
Nice and tender.
It melts in your mouth. It's so good. It's like the juiciest roast beef you could ever have with rolls of cheese inside of it. It's so good. And the sauce becomes more meat flavored and cheese flavored because of the cooking process. It all cooks down in there. It's just so delicious. I love it. Now you could serve this with really anything you wanted to. You could serve it with a polenta. You could serve it with risotto or rice. In Abby's case, her husband loves a rice. Or even like a vegetable. If you wanted to go like a more of a healthier route, you could serve it with a side of sauteed vegetable. And then you just put that juice on there.
I always wondered why it took so long, but I guess just the cooking process.
Yeah, it has to break down. It all breaks down in the oven. And all like marries together in there. Like all the cheeses and all that. You know I gotta have more. It's perfect, guys. Absolutely perfect. And it makes a lot. Like one package, I wasn't even done with that, and it's going to make about 3 more. So in one flank steak, when you cut that up, the rolls they come a little bit thinner than this, so everybody can, get a couple of the rolls like that. So delicious. Try it. Go out. Get all the ingredients. Make a brasciole. Enjoy it. It doesn't have to be a winter dish. You can eat this anytime. And you can find this recipe on my page, Let's Cook This. And have a wonderful weekend.